We're on one of my favorite maps in the game for today's Brim Smoke guide, Sunset. This map can play really well as long as you know how to smoke properly, and that's what this video is all about. Timestamps will be listed below for returning viewers or for anybody that would like to see a certain set of smokes. Before we do any of that, I need to give you guys a general rule of thumb with these smokes in case this is the first time that you're seeing a smoke guide from me. This is considered a good smoke, whereas this is considered a bad smoke. This is considered a bad smoke for a couple of reasons. First off, if you're holding this smoke, people can actually come out of it in any direction they want and throw off your crosshair placement. And on top of that, they can actually use this smoke to take cover while they try to take fights in other areas of the map. Like for example, if you have someone playing tiles and the smoke's down, they can actually use this smoke to isolate anybody that may be still bottom mid. So yeah, don't smoke like this. Instead, you want to make sure that your smoke is flush with the choke point. That way, it'll make it harder for enemies to come out of the smoke without using a piece of util, because if they come out dry, they've got so many angles that they have to worry about. So, general consensus here, you want your smokes to make it harder for enemies to swing out of them without using util. Starting off with attacking A, there's two main entry points without having to go through mid on this site. Those being main and elbow. Now, I would recommend splitting through each entry point. That way you can pinch anybody that might be on site. And also, more often than not, somebody might actually be playing elbow to try to get a pick on you. And if you don't clear that, they can easily come out and pick you guys off as you come out onto site. So definitely split through here if you're going through A. But in the meantime, with your smokes, you want to place one in CT right here, along with Link right here. That way you can make sure anybody that may be peeking there is blocked off, and also anybody that might be peeking from CT will be smoked off as well to help your elbow players get on site. And then when you all come on site, you can pinch anybody that may still be on site, especially if anybody's playing behind Jedi, which is a very powerful spot to play in too. So definitely make sure you clear this before you get the bomb down. Now with Link in particular, I do have to give you guys a heads up about something. If enemies are playing near this smoke, once they get a sound cue, they can actually come out of it and pick off anybody that may still be straggling in main, and then come out like this and pick off anybody that may still be exposed while they're on site. So just be careful and watch for that. Moving over to B site, there's two entry points here as well, but one of them does require you to go through mid. We'll cover that later. But first of all, we're just going to focus on if you're 5-manning through B main. Your default smokes here will actually be in market like this in particular, along with one in boba, kind of out like that. Now, I'll explain this one in a bit, but with the boba smoke as well, enemies can jump up here and look over it unless you smoke like this. So just make sure you bring your boba smoke a little bit out. That way, enemies can't look over it to try to pick you off as you're coming back site. Now, as for market, there's a big reason I smoke it like this instead of just smoking it flush with the choke like this. Because anybody that's playing market can actually come out and use this little corner here to isolate anybody that didn't fully cross over to this part of the site yet and get their picks and then back up into the smoke and get back to safety. So that smoke is a no-go. This smoke that I placed originally will eliminate that, and they will have to come out of the smoke and be exposed to multiple angles, including anybody that didn't fully cross the site yet. So just make sure you smoke market like that unless you have teammates going through mid. Let's say you want to push B, but you're on an eco. Here's what you can do with this. You're going to drop the market smoke like you would normally, but then what about back site here? there's no way you'll be able to challenge anybody back sight with the weaker guns that you have, especially if they have Vandals. That's where your other 2 smokes are going to come in. You're going to drop one on stairs here, and you're also going to drop one on the right side of sight like this.
Fully smoked.
This will use all 3 smokes, and this isn't really meant for taking the space back sight. You just want to try to make sure you take close range fights if you try to push B, and that's what these smokes will help you do. And then you'll be able to get the bomb down while your teammates can cover you if enemies try to swing out of the smokes. But like I said, I would only recommend using this set of smokes if you insist on pushing B, but you're on an eco with weaker guns. Now with mid, there's no entry point into A from mid unless you go up top mid, like if someone were to be lurking up there. But that's risky, so I'm not even going to bother covering that in this video. I'm just going to cover if you were to go to B from mid. You will need all 3 smokes for this one as well, because your first smoke is going to go top mid.
Smoke.
That way, you can make sure that's covered while you guys push over toward market. And even if the market door is closed, you can easily break it. And like, you can maybe have somebody at tiles watching for anybody that might be in there. And then of course, you have bottom mid to support them if anybody tries to swing out of the smoke top mid. But then, as you guys make it to market, you're gonna actually smoke on the stairs here, along with Boba. But again, you wanna bring the Boba smoke a little bit out. That way, you can make sure you're covered as you're pushing onto sight. And then at the same time, if you have teammates that are trying to take back sight, anybody that may be playing Boba and try to jump up on here won't be able to look over your smoke. So keep that in mind whenever you do this. Moving over to defense, if you're the only smokes on your comp, then I would recommend playing somewhere along top mid, preferably this right side right here. That way, you'll have cover from anybody that may be trying to come up mid, and at the same time, you'll be able to smoke off wherever it's needed, whenever it's needed, right away for your team. But we're going to move over to A to start things off, and I like to break these smokes down into 2 categories. Those being your passive smokes, along with your aggressive smokes. If you want to just play passive on A, and you know that enemies are hitting here, you can just drop a smoke in main, along with elbow, like this. That way, if anybody's playing elbow, and they're getting overwhelmed when they try to take fights, they can get their pick and then try to get out and get back to safety, especially with this smoke in play, to make it harder for the enemies to trade. And then with this smoke, you do want to be careful here, because if the enemies have an agent that can get on top of the boxes right here, they'll be able to look over your smoke no problem. So just be careful with that. Alternatively, if you know enemies are going elbow and you want to try to bait out Util, you can drop a smoke right here instead of smoking flush like this for passive.
Smoke's down.
And you see this stack of boxes here that I just mentioned? We're going to drop a smoke on top of there as well. That way, you can get a little bit aggressive on enemies that may be pushing main, because you'll be able to see them well before they can see you. So just use this one way to your advantage whenever you have a chance to. If you want to try to bait out Util right off the rip, you can actually drop a smoke right along here.
Launching smoke.
That way, you can try to make sure they use Util to clear this area out before they swing out of the smoke. Because if they just swing out dry, they're exposed to main aggression, they're exposed to elbow aggression. So just make sure, if you want to try to bait out Util, keep this smoke in mind. Moving over to defending B, if you're going to play passive, just smoke like normal, like this.
Smoke.
But you can get a little bit aggressive with this smoke if you want to. Just shift walk into it, and then come out the side like this. And then you'll be able to isolate anybody that may still be sitting up top there, while you get your picks down here on anybody that may have crossed, and then get back into safety. There's another little thing you can do here as well if you want to try to get feisty. This box right here, you can actually drop a smoke on top of it and create a one-way. That way, it'll make it harder for the enemies to see you without using Util, because you'll see them well before they see you if they come out dry. But they can cross over here for free as well, so just be careful with that. Because once you get your pick, you'll have to be ready for more because you'll have to assume there's going to be more enemies there ready to swarm you after you get your pick there. So just be ready for that. And also, if you want to try to bait out Util, you can even drop a smoke right here on the stairs. And you can even combo this with a molly off of the wall here to make it harder for them to swing out without taking damage as well. Moving over to defending mid, you're generally going to want your B players to shut the door. That way, if anybody's playing mid, they'll be forced to break the door if they want to try to go in to market. So, here's what you want to do if you want to defend mid. If you want to try to bait out Util immediately, just smoke off bottom mid like this. Now, yes, this does give the bottom mid players a free pass to go into tiles, but at the same time, you can just smoke that off as well. That way you'll make it harder for anybody that is in tiles to see you without swinging out and have to worry about multiple angles. But if they're smart, they'll smoke this off. But if not, you've got some picks waiting for you. If they do break the door and they intend on coming B, just smoke it off.
Launching smoke.
And then you can maybe even combo this with your molly if you're here as well to make it tougher on them to come out of your smoke. And then you'll be ready for them if they do come out. And that's all I have for you for Sunset. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. And also, be sure to check out one of these videos on screen if you haven't already done so. But that's going to do it for me. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.